知道都有。Oh, yeah. Then you can propose. Yeah. 我问了，但我只会丢在上面，我不知道会。嗯，在哪里？你已经打了。我传讯息给他，我上去看一下。没有，有，你上去听，他妈超屌了。你先，我开直播，你先上去听。喂喂，够瞎不？我开了一个新的。喂喂喂，够瞎不？喂喂喂。 老师，你要地点吗？
就这样，念完之后就可以了。
就这边加，
可以在这边讲的吗？
按那个，
那你有给这里从上面啊？嗯，不行，他们照片吃掉两死，都放云端，我就不把它真的把它就放第一天、第二天还是上午？ So now is the keynote speech sessions. So we invite Professor Masamitsu Ito. He is a professor in the sport coaching at the Nippon Sport Science University, which is very good university in Japan. And he is also the director of NSSC Center for Coaching Excellence and the deputy director of NSSU Coach Developer Academy. And also he is the vice president of Asian Association of Coaching Science. He brings a lot of success, especially for coach education, and they have a different coach philosophy for this new generation. Especially we have a lot of new technology and a lot of different environment full of challenge. So it's very important talk. Will give us a lot of inspiration. So that's welcome, Professor Ito.
Thank you. Thank you very much for a kind introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Masami Ito from Nippon Sports Science University. And as Dr. Tan introduced me, I'm serving as the vice president of this society. And I'm trying to, to promote the strength of this association from now on again. And I'm designing coach education programs for Japan. So the Japan Sports Association is the main provider of the coaching qualification in Japan, and I'm designing and training the coach developers. So who are the coaches of coaches. So that's the one I'm doing, and I'm working with other countries too. I'm working with Singapore and other ASEAN countries. I'm working with other countries to do some challenging job to develop their coaching system or coach development system. So what I'm going to talk about today is about about how rather than what. So that's my talk. So please get my slide. Okay, thank you. So the title of my talk is Missing How. Okay, let's go. So actually, I tried to put the Chinese letters. Sometimes, it's automatically created by the AI. So sometimes, you can laugh at my, the translations. Okay, let's get started. So, which do you pick? You can pick whichever you want. Which do you pick? A? Who pick A? Please raise your hands. A. Okay. B? Awesome. Much bigger number to take A. Okay, so there is interesting research about the attitude of the students. So for a period of time, group A and B worked on the same task. The teachers focused on the outcomes, the group A, and the group B, the teachers focused on the process. So they're focusing on the outcome. Oh, you get a full mark. That's good. Type of the conversations. And then the group B, oh, you didn't till the end. You both are teaching each other. So that kind of process focusing on. Then after a period of time, they were given the easy and the challenging task, and then let the student choose. What happened? The group A tend to choose the easy one, A. And group B chose challenging one, B. Why do you think it happened? It's quite natural. The kids, they are sensing whether the teachers are focusing on the outcome of process. So the teachers focus on the outcome, they choose the one they can get better results. And if your teacher or coach are focusing on the process, they learn to challenge. So they got a challenging one. Which one do you think will get the better performance in the future? If you're always taking the easy ones, maybe you will become better and get better and better in the easy ones. maybe the quality will increase. But if you want to get better at doing new things, you have to challenge new tasks. So in sports as well, we are trying to, elevate or develop our new skills. So that's why we need these kind of mindset, challenging new things. That's why the coaches, we encourage coaches to put more, emphasis on process rather than the results. Okay? So what to coach? Actually, they are coaching the same thing. But how to coach changes everything. That's why the title of my talk, we need to put more emphasis on how as well. Of course, it's important, like a biomechanics, what to do, athlete performance, knowing that is really important. But at the same time, we have to put more emphasis on how to coach. Okay? So this is the AACS Constitution, Article 1 objective. So these are the things that as an association we should be doing. So let's look at the C to bridge the gap between sport coaching and sports science. I'm going to talk a little bit about this one. So this, I pull out the one example, the research paper, which was published in 2016. It's about this, the research about the sources, topics, and the use of knowledge by coaches. So many coaches answered this, the research. Then they asked these questions. So the coaches perceived source of last thing they had learned or found useful. Academic journals, 1.68%. The coaches put a value on. They think variable. This much. They value more the coaching course or maybe, the talk with another coach. That's the reality. We need to think about the reality as a society, the academic society. They don't read papers. Okay? So, coaches' preferred method of acquiring coaching knowledge, academic journal, 1.79%. They don't learn from the journals. Where? They go courses, maybe seminars. Okay? They want to learn in a different mode. So, last thing coaches perceive they have learned or found useful for their coaching. So, specific coaching method or technique, communication, specific new drills, and so on, it's about the pedagogy. They like to learn about the pedagogy. Of course, sports science knowledge and development are not something kind of ologies. Of course, they want to learn some, but the main part is how to coach. And coaches' perceptions of what they need to know more about to be a better coach. So, how to coach? 23.5%. Coaches want to get more knowledge or information about how to coach. That's the one they want to get. Okay? So we need to know about this reality as an association. But when we come together, you can see the list of the themes you presented. It's almost biomechanics, something ologies, but sometimes we have to do different stuff. Okay? So now, let's look at the item F of the Constitution, the purpose. The development and implementation of educational programs for sport coaching professionals. So now we are thinking about the educations or coach education. So there are many, many challenges we are facing in coach education and development. So in some, the papers, they said, formal education is not so good for a coach to get new knowledge. So formal coach education programs tend to provide content that remains abstract and offers only a basic level of understanding, making it difficult for coaches to apply it effectively to address the real challenges they face in practice. So some coaches or many coaches, they attend the course to learn about the ologies for biomechanics and so on. They said it's too abstract. they cannot understand how they can apply that knowledge in their field. So the paper said, formal coach education content often misaligned with real coaching context. The coaches actively accept, reject, or resist course content based on their own beliefs and experiences. And to pass assessments, coaches engage in impression management, outwardly confirming while privately disagreeing. Even if you disagree, in order for them to pass and pass the exam or to get the qualifications, they pretend, oh, I want to do this. But behind that, oh my God, that's rubbish. Things they are thinking often. Okay, so and studentship behaviors observed. Coaches play the game to meet expectations, but revert to their own method afterward. So if they were tested, how to coach. They follow the instructor says something, they follow that instructions for that moment. But actually, after finishing the course, they go back to their own way of coaching. Many times we are not successful in changing their behavior. The coach education has to be successful in changing their mindset and also their behavior. Behavior change is the key, but we are not succeeding it yet. So this highlights the needs for coach education to respect coaches' contexts, identities, and to foster critical dialogue learning. So the coach education we're talking about, sometimes we are not successful as we think. So the coach education is something like this. So we do a lot of ologies like physiology, psychology, and biomechanics, and nutrition and so on. But in many ways, in many countries, we do like this behavior. We are trying to pour, the knowledge into the brain or the head of the learners. But it doesn't happen. So it's like this one. Now I'm giving a lecture here. But actually this is like something like I'm putting my knowledge, what I know, in your brain. Actually, the learning happening in your brain, not necessarily related to my talk. I'm not teaching. I'm just giving. I'm just talking, and then whether you learn or not, you decide. The learning happens in that individual. Even if we can, just talk, it doesn't mean you're learning. And then actually, it happens to coaches as well. Even if you are the professor and talking in front of the student, maybe we misunderstand, our behavior. We are teaching. But actually, teaching means if the person who are learning learns, maybe we may have taught something, but actually, we just talked. It doesn't necessarily mean teaching. So now, what we are trying to do in coach education is, try to shift from just pouring the information into the brain of coaches to an active learning format. So they are the active learners. They need to develop or accumulate or construct their knowledge themselves. So we are now trying to change the system. So as a result, what we did in Japan, our team did this one. So many ways we can learn. The coaches learn. And many times when we say coach development or coach education, we rely on the workshop or lectures too much. But what we've done in Japan, in the team, this is the government project. We have less female coaches in the national teams. And then government decided to put the money to run the Women Elite Coach Development Program. And then we led that project. And what we've done is this one. We try to get out from lecturing. We put emphasis more on this one, on the group training. we encourage them to go out, to train, and then they need to know what they need to know themselves. And then they report that content to us. We organize workshops and lectures based on their experience. And we assign the two mentors. One is the coaching mentor. So you can consult with something you don't know about in coaching. Maybe you can go to a coaching mentor. But at the same time, this is the female elite coach program. Sometimes you have to go through the men's world. Then we assigned a mentor, the female mentor, who went through that way in business world. So CEOs or the high standard people, they acted as a mentor to coaches. Then they were together try to solve the issue that female coach faces. And the other one, we try to create the community practice. They can learn, things from each other, not from us. I mean, the lecturers. So these are things we try to blend many types of the learning opportunities. But the important point is we are not going to teach. They have to solve their problem themselves. That's why we encourage them to go out to do some challenge, what they cannot do. And then we support them as a coach developer, as a professional, to the coaches to support their learning. Sometimes we ask questions like, what would you do in different ways? Why did you do this? And how you can change that next. So those kind of questions we throw, and then they think, and then if they think something, I need to get these areas of the knowledge about the psychology. We can arrange that, and then we did a workshop for them. So, everything, the adult learners is not like kids. Kids are quite, keen to learn anything. It's like a sponge, absorb lots of water. But the adults, adult learning is different. Adults, we always we have the kind of past knowledge. They learn something that hinders new learning. So when we do this, we put more emphasis on the practice first. So now I'm showing the changes in the education, which is written in the International Coach Developer Framework. So we do a lot of coach education workshops or seminars in a knowledge transfer type. It's okay to get the knowledge, effectively. It works, of course. But now what we are doing is try to change that seminars or workshops or lectures to facilitate learning. And actually, what we are trying to do is this one. We, coach developers, go out to the field, the coach's working place, to support, to develop their coaching skills in the field. Over there, there's a place they can grow themselves. The teachers or the coaches often learn, of course, comes to workshop, the lectures, they can learn something. But actually, as you saw, they are learning a lot in the field during the conversation with their peer coaches. So then now we need to think about the name of, the meaning of the coach education or development. When we say the coach education or development, the education is not somewhat like formal learning opportunities like university lectures or the workshops or for the qualifications. That's the kind of education. But when you go out, once you get a license or qualifications, you need to develop yourself. And then, sometimes we run seminars to renew the qualifications. We do some kind of a development. But these words are from our side. Organizational purpose. We're going to develop. We're going to educate. But actually, what we need to think about is learning. When we see this word from the flip side, the coaches are learning, we have to think about not development or education. We need to think about the coach. We need to think about the coach learning, how they learn themselves. Almost the same thing, but anytime the development education, we have to think about the learning of coaches. So now going to item D, to promote critical reflection of coaching practice and to critically examine commonly accepted beliefs about coaching effectiveness and performance enhancement. So we learn from experience. Coaches go out and then do the experience, coaching experience they have. Then do a reflection about their, what they've done. Then drawing new lessons and apply to that new situations, and then you will get the new experience. And then if you can go around, you will get better and better. But it's not so easy, so as we see. So not all reflection here. If you are successful in doing the reflection wisely, you can get better, but it's not so easy. So sometimes shallow reflection, did I lose? Did I win or lose? The players were not focused today. The players looked tired. I was frustrated, so I shouted. So that's the shallow reflections. But if you can do different types of a deep, deliberate reflection, you can get better. So like this one, what choices did I make? Why did I make them? What other options existed? How can I improve next time? So going deeper and deeper so that you can change your, the norm. So this, experience itself doesn't, guarantee your progress in the coaching development, coaching skill development. Many coaches shows little improvement, doing the same thing again and again and again, showing no improvement sometimes. So the some can draw new lessons, but the other cannot. Why is that? Because if you always stick with the past lessons, you cannot get better. Because you're doing, just following your past success stories. I did this in this way when I was an athlete. That's why, my athletes have to do this as well. Then you cannot expect any, the better result. So you have to do, So the word unlearning is very important word. So unlearn is to, just try not to stick with your past learning. So the unlearning means the kind of intentionally letting go of outdated beliefs, routines, or mental models that are no longer useful or relevant to a current, future effective coaching practice. You can proud of your past, but please do not stick with that because the world is progressing all the time. We have to upgrade ourselves all the time. So the hardest thing to learn is to unlearn, to challenge our norm. So the kids, as I said, absorb many things, but others doesn't, because the past learning hinders new knowledge in adults. So to move forward, coaches must develop the courage and skills to challenge their own assumptions and open space for new knowledge and practices. We have to encourage coaches to get these skills or mindset. So if we can expect the unlearning from the coach, we will see new lessons in coaches. Then we can expect new application and new experience, then going around. So we need to change kind of a belief and to innovate our practice. Unlearn is the key for coaches. But how we can do this? How we can support coaches to get this stage? Then comes to the idea of the coach developers. So effective coach developers are experts in helping coaches learn and operate in a way that increases coaches' self-awareness and encourages them to take responsibility for their own ongoing development to become even better coaches. So which is written in the International Coach Developer Framework version 2. So these are the person who can support the coach's learning. So I'm acting as a coach developer to Japanese coaches and the other coaches. So I'm training myself to be able to get the skills to support coaches. So the athletes have coaches to get better. And if you want better athletes, you need better coaches. How we can support them to get better coaches? Of course, we need somebody. Because, you don't know what you don't know. You need somebody else or third-person view to change yourself. So if we can have the better coaching developers, we can get the better coaches and the better athletes. Then after that, maybe in 10 years' time also, we will get the better athletes become the better coaches and the better coaching developers. So creating the coaching culture, which always evolve to the new era. So now that's why we are focusing on the coaching developers, developing coaching developers. These are the catalysts for changing the coaching behavior in society. So what I'm going to talk about is all of these. Maybe the publication part is limited to the academic side, but all of the purposes we have to existence of the arts. So our university collaborated with the ICCE, International Council for Coaching Excellence. We created the academy to develop coach developers. Thankfully, we got luckily we had the Olympic Games and Paralympic Games in 2020, actually +1. And then towards the 2020, the Japanese government decided to do a big project called Sports for Tomorrow. And we got funding from the government. And then we created the academy. And then the vision of the academy to create the coaching culture in sport that leads to a positive experience for everyone through sport. And the aim, it was to foster international coaching developers and to construct a network of coaching developers all over the world. And the learner-centered philosophy was always there. And then, as you can see, from 2014 to 2021, we were running the project, the academy, with the funding from the government. Then after that, we lost the funding from the government, and we are running the academy in a small size. But from this year, the IOC decided to support us. So they fund the kind of a scholarship to the participants. So when we run the workshop, the IOC can support the airfares and the accommodation and so on. So we are working with the IOC right now. So these are the scenery from the first program. You see, in 2015 in Tokyo, we are the only 6 people, attending the workshop. So that's our pilots ones. And can you see this one? This one? Myself. Yeah. I created this one. Our team created this academy. I wanted to learn. I want to upgrade myself. And I put myself in the cohort. And I was trained by other ones. So we learned a lot from the expert, invited from the UK and other areas. So these are the start, kickoff of the academy. Then, since then, we developed many coaching developers from around the world. So this year, we add some, the coach developers. And until now, 118 participants from 43 countries. So we developed the coach developers. Actually, many of them are leading the reformation of the coach education or coach development system in their respective countries. And they are leading the change in the regions here. And still, we are connected to each other. And we ask sometimes, to them to come over to Japan to support the next generation of coach developers. So we are evolving from inside. We're, the past cohort members are the trainers of the next cohort. So we are trying, all the time we try to do new things. And unfortunately, yet, we haven't got any participants from Taiwan yet. But actually, we had the board meeting yesterday, and we are talking about how we can collaborate with the AACS, this association. It is a science, oriented, association, but, we need to do a practice to develop coaches. We need to, use the scientific knowledge we are doing, the research, into a coach education, a coach development, and the coach learning. So we are now thinking about how we can collaborate. And then with the government, of course, the James here, we are always talking about how we can, collaborate. So in the academy, we do many workshops to train, coaches develop skills. The main thing is the facilitation and how to assess and how to support and how to observe and give a feedback to coaches. So mentoring, how to do a mentoring and how to design the program or evaluation and the leadership and the personal development, how to develop yourself. So, these are the skills we are trying to develop. So now this is the version 1, which was developed at the same time we opened the academy. So it was the 2014. It was graded the framework. Now, last year, the ICCE, the International Council for Coaching Excellence, they published the version 2. And this one was created based on the NCDA's experience. So in the program, we do a learner-centered way of running the workshop. So we ask the participants what their needs, what their expectations, what's your fear. And we are trying to get rid of the fears, but we try to do a workshops and in the consultation to meet their needs. So we do a lot of, the talking and reflections and working, and then, we invite the experts, and we do a lot of facilitation training. It's thorough. When Saro, started to work with me, I just said to him, just be in the team to learn. Then, he was struggling, trying to do the same as I did, And then he was practicing how to facilitate the learning of the coaches, one by one. They are the candidates for coaching developers. They have to do this role to practice the facilitation skills, how to run the workshop, how to make the coaches, vulnerable to get new skills. So these are the kind of acronym or the philosophy we are trying to get. So learns to make them learn, make the coaches learn. We need to be a learner-centered, or learning is the key, and then how to set the environment, how to involve them actively, and then how to skill new learning for coaches, how to run the reflection, how to make them reflect effectively, and then how to treat them. Sometimes the coaches just try to keep inside, and afraid of trying new things because they're afraid of making mistakes as a coach. Then we need to stretch them. If you're just staying there, you get nothing better. So we need to stretch them. So we do practice, and then do a lot of reflections, try to improve ourselves. And sometimes we do use the kind of acronym or the framework to support the coaches. So we do observation. So we ask the university student to run a workshop or the coaching session, and then coach developer training here is observing, taking notes in order for him to be able to support this coach to get better. So after observation, we do a professional discussions. The coach developer taking notes, he has got a lot of notes here. But he was asking questions to coach, not teaching, but asking questions, good questions, to make them reflect themselves and get to the result, something, not understand, or maybe, get the new idea about their, better coaching practice. So we are not going to teach anything. We just ask questions and then make them think to get better. So that's the training we do. So after that, we went out to many countries like Singapore and Zambia, the Paraguay, in Jordan. So that's Malaysia, Adelaide, Australia, and Brazil. Actually, 2020 March, this was the outbreak of the COVID-19. And I was about to fly to Brazil to run a workshop. And then suddenly, all the travel was banned. And then we were about to, run the workshop. That's why, can you see here? So I was facilitating the workshop from Japan. Actually, I tried to change my time zone in Japan. I slept, in daytime, and then I woke up at night, and then I was facilitating the workshop in Brazil. So 24 hours, difference. So we asked the, past cohort of the past, the coaches who learned, who came to Japan before they run the workshop there. And I was, I designed the workshop for 3 days or 4 days. I was facilitating from Japan and then asking them to, use their skills developed in Tokyo. It's a quite nice, experience for me. And I could know about the, we can facilitate from remote area. Okay. So we do many workshops with the Malaysia, because the Malaysia had a kind of a, MOU with our academy. So last year I went to Malaysia maybe 7-8 times, and then, to run the workshop and then support them to do the same thing within their country. So yeah, Kotaba, and then the workshop for coaches, KL, and KL, many times. Yep. And then the last year we had in Singapore, we had a global coaching conference of the ICCE, International Council for Coaching Excellence. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to go to there, but they're the, graduates from our, academy. They came together to have some discussions of what's going on, and then they're learning each other during the conference. So actually, they are changing the landscape of coaching and everywhere in the world. So if you're interested in, please go to this website. It's just the ncda.tokyo. You can get the information. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to run the thanks to the IOC Olympic Solidarity. So the people who are not get a funding, you can just apply through your NOC to come to our academy to train yourself as a coach developer. So if you come to go to this website, you can get the information. And actually, Sarah and I and the other, the couple of our staff run this academy at our university. So let me explain a little bit about the workshop we are running. Actually, the Japan Sport Association, they are using us as a trainer for developing coach developers. Then the coach developers in Japan, trained by us, are facilitating the coach workshop. And then I'm going to show you a little bit about what kind of things we are doing. Okay, so that's the picture. It was 1,000 words. So please make up a 2 pair now, or trio. Okay, please do this. Okay, the ground rules. Okay, so ground rules are a growth challenge. Everyone has to challenge yourself. So please create a psychologically safe environment. And then in this workshop, I'm simulating, the workshop we're doing. So please do not deny any opinions your partner says, okay? So that's the rule. You have to just accept and show positive reaction. And you don't need to, agree with those. Oh, you think so? I have a different opinion. I have a different. So it's interesting, we're different. So that's the attitude you have to do, okay? So then you can become the active practitioner or active participants in the workshop. Then try to do online. That's the rule in this workshop, okay? So please make a pair now, please. Actually, please make a pair. Now, so three. We are going to do. Actually, we are going to do. So please make a pair, okay? Okay? So, oh, sorry. Now, what we are going to do is this one. Questioning practice, okay? So please make a pairs and then make A and B. Now, please talk to the next one. Now, please make a pair. Please make a pair. Okay? Okay. Everybody, okay? So please join us, okay? And then maybe I have prepared the Chinese for you to understand well. Okay? So you can take a picture if you want. Yes. Okay. So now, do you think it's better? Actually, Japanese, there are some Japanese, but I'm sure that we can understand this one because we need to use a different, the same one. So please think of any animal in your head. Any animal. Cat, dog, lion, or anything. Okay? Don't say it to your partner. See? The guessing and the reading the mind is the game, okay? You need to read the mind of your partner, okay? But you can use the only questions which can be answered by yes or no. Only yes or no. Is your animal black? Yes or no. Okay? That kind of things. Is it a mammal? Yes or no. Okay? You can use the questions only your partner can answer in yes or no. Okay? And then you can do in turn, if you throw a question, the other one answer it yes or no, then that person will do the same, given the questions. Okay? So you have only 2 minutes. You have only 2 minutes. Okay? So please do it now. I'm gonna measure the time. Please, let's start. One minute. One more minute. Okay, so please stop now. It's a little bit less than 2 minutes, but please get your answer right or not. Please check your answer with your partner. Please say, is your animal a cat also? Yeah. Please check your answer. Okay. Who got the right answer? Who got the right answer now? No, no one? No one? Okay. So, thank you for your cooperation. And then, because of time, we cannot do this activity till the end. But after this, what we are going to do is use the open-ended questions next time. So the first one was the closed questions. The second one we would do is the open-ended questions, and then compare closed and open-ended questions. So we do these kind of things in the coach education or coach development workshop, so that the coaches can learn about the power of open questions. Otherwise, if the coaches are told by the professor, oh, you need to throw open-ended questions, do you think they can make sense of the importance of the open questions? Actually, many of coaches cannot throw effective open questions. Many times they just throw closed questions and open-ended questions practice. So they need to know by experience, it's not easy to throw open-ended questions. So that's why we need to practice open-ended questions. So these kind of experience we try to create in the workshop. So we are doing these kind of things in Japan, and this is the email I got from a coach who attended the workshop. So please read this one. I'm not sure it's the right translation or not. Please ask ChatGPT. Okay. Can I go back to the English one? Okay. So the coach who attended the workshop of the level 3 workshop and of the Japan Sports Association, then in this program, the coaches have to design their learning plan after the workshop or the workshop. Then they have to try new things for a month and then write a report on that. And then we, coach developers, just check, and then if they're met the certain standard, and then we check the whether they can pass or not. Okay, so just maybe 1 week after the end of the workshop, I got this email from a coach. They are, actually he's coaching still, so he is the baseball coach to a kid. And then he asked their parents, oh, I'm taking a course, and they try to get the license or the qualifications, and I need to do this one. And then he said to the parents, these are my goals. And then the parents said, hey, coach, you do this alone? We need to do this the same. Then he said, many parents started practicing it together. And then he already see positive changes. My learning is now positively influencing the people around me. So actually, we are quite confident. Not the all, but we are confident we are making a big difference in coaching behaviors. We are now in succeeding, to change the attitude of coaches and parents around sports. So we are trying to change the coaching culture of Japan. It's very much autocratic in the past. We are trying to be more positive atmosphere, the environment we are trying to create. So we advise them or they encourage them to focus on what they can control. That's not the athletes. Coaches can control themselves. Sometimes it's difficult, but try to focus on what they can control. So that's me, myself. That's a controllable. You can influence the athletes. Then afterwards, you can, the attitude of yourself or behavior is propagatable to the society. So please not to focus too much on changing the athletes. The athlete learning is for them. The important thing is you need to be responsible for your own learning. Then you need to ask or set the environment for kids or athletes for them to be able to become a self-directed learners. So that's the concept. So we are now focusing on the coach developers. We have to be responsible for ourselves. The coaches, they have to be responsible for their change. Then we encourage athletes to take the ownership of learning themselves. Those are the things we are trying to create in Japan. So what you coach is important. We, as a researcher, we need to do lots of research on what you coach. We need to understand what is the effective movement or so. But at the same time, we are doing the human relation business. I mean, not business. Business is not the proper word, but we are doing the dealing with the human relations. We are trying to change the behavior with the others. So that's why we have to do more about the how to coach. And this is missing in many coach education system in the world. And we need to go forward with this association to promote the research of the how to coach more. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very great speech, very have a lot of inspiration. So now we guys looked at we will open question. Anyone? Okay, please. Do you need the microphone?
Thanks for this talk. I'm Jacob from SNU. So how to coach is change everything. So that one is a very good message to me. Then what is the goal for the how to coach? So to make an athlete or better players, and what is the goal for that the question? And another question is if target coach group is a national team group, then it may depends on the sports event. Like if Japan is very strong for judo, then judo coaches do not most things, but a player can get some good record for the Olympic Games. In Korea, archer team coach did not do much things. They can get some like a good performance. In that case, what the coach has to do. That's my question.
Thank you for a great the question. My answer could be, it's context dependent. That's always the how to coach is context dependent. We cannot say concrete, the golden standard. There's no golden standard of the coaching. So if we do something, some behavior to athlete A, and maybe at the same time athlete B, we need to do different stuff to get the better results. So it's always context dependent. So I cannot say this is the way we should be coaching. At the same time, I would say to be athlete centered is so important. So we need to see all the time how athletes are behaving, thinking, try to be with them, not just controlling them to become the champion, but we need to support them to be able to go forward. So maybe, actually many coaches ask me how we should be doing. And always I answer, depends. It depends. It always depends. That's why, in coaching research field, we say coaching is the improvisation all the time. We need to read the situation. We need to read something behind the scene. Then we need to decide. and then see the result of our action, then we need to do a next shot again to make it better. So the coaching is the improvisation, so you cannot decide, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, maybe I can give you an example of my student. My student learn how to throw questions. Then when they go out and they come back, sometimes they say, oh, I want to be an athlete coach, and I'm using questions a lot, but it doesn't work. And I said, maybe that's the coach-centered, because you are always thinking about you have to throw questions. Sometimes if the athletes are trying to get the input, oh, you have to teach. That's the athlete-centered. So it depends. So the autocratic type sometimes can be athlete-centered. Our lecturing is also can be learner-centered. If the lecturer can give a very, very, very interesting, fascinating talk, the learners, audience, listen to him or her, that's a learner-centered. And the lecturing is, it can be a learner-centered method of giving the kind of knowledge. Here, it depends all the time. Here.
So do you what question? There's one.
Thanks for a wonderful presentation, and I really appreciate the mention about coach is the really important sentence. But I was wondering, if everyone is an active learner, like athletes and coaches, right? So do you have any suggestions, like how can we help someone who is a passive learner to become an active learner? Thanks.
Here, that's again, very critical question. Thank you very much for your questions. And yeah, as a coach developer, what I'm thinking about all the time is I need to enjoy myself. Once I, had a kind of a survey of how much you satisfied with my workshop, and then I try to make the kind of a regression lines about my satisfaction and their satisfactions. It's all aligned. Actually, please imagine the lecturers or workshops or coaches, they're not enjoying their job. The listeners or athletes, no, they won't enjoy anything. Actually, you cannot control the other people's mind. That's their job. And what we can do is enjoy myself. I was enjoying the talk myself today, because otherwise you won't enjoy my talk. I'm enjoying, then you will enjoy. Maybe, sometimes not. But the things we need to do is to focus on yourself. Here, that's the answer from me.
Okay. So I think it is a great time for ending, and I think everybody learned a lot. So
Thank you.
we still have a more questions. We still have a time to
Yes.
ask the
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for everyone's participation. So the keynote will finish now. So later on we will have closing ceremony. And also important thing is to announce the awards. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So we will have a appreciation for the
Yes. Thank you.
award.
Yes. Let me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.